Look, man, it's tough, dude, and I didn't ask for this, but I found my purpose. I'm here to inspire the hearts and the minds of everyone who has the desire to grind. So both. But a lot of people don't really take the time to think about the long term, and your success today's workout is mostly based off of all the shit that came before it. The food, the sleep, the other workouts, which sort of relates to something I said in a video like last week. A lot of people eat less food on an off day, and that's it's not detrimental to your gains, but you're recovering for many hours post-workout, maybe days, depending on the magnitude of the stress. But yeah, it's a good idea to have good nutrition in the hours leading up to your workout, the day of your workout, after your workout, but to do that as consistently as possible over long periods of time. Dude, depends on so many variables, but like I could do an entire Instagram live probably on that. So just the most generic, basic advice. Here we go. Most people do pretty well training each body part twice a week with 10 to 20 sets a week per body part. That means that if you're on the lower end, the average workout for a body part would be 5 sets. If you're on the higher end of the range, the average workout for a specific body part would be about 10 sets. Let's just say probably 2/3 of that work should probably be, there's always wiggle room and exceptions, but as a general rule, let's just say 2/3 of that work should probably be based around multi-joint, complex compound movements, and then the other last third single. So that would put you somewhere in a range of, say, 3 to 7 sets of compounds within a workout, somewhere within that range, depending on how your training split is designed. When it comes to rep ranges, it's a little less important than people would like to believe, but that old kind of hypertrophy rule, 6 to 12 or 5 to 12, is a really good range just because you can get a good amount of volume and a good amount of work with good loads. I could see how you could build that connection, but I more so like to think of myself as a Mother Teresa because of my sacrifice and unwavering commitment to put you guys first. Dad's milk, straight from the source. See, there is a misconception that you can only drink Dad's milk, but you can actually apply it straight to the face. Makes all of it grow. Not going to be able to give you a perfect answer, but let's say we're just talking about the chest, and you train your chest twice a week, 10 sets per workout, and you feel like you're recovering adequately and you're making good progress, and you want to see if you can do more. You may add more sets to one of those workouts or both those workouts, or maybe you don't have the room or the recovery to add more sets to those workouts. Maybe you add a third day and you split volume up between, or maybe one of those days has lower volumes and it works its way up. Have you ever tried ecstasy? Like that, but for your butthole. As little cutting as possible. By the end of the year, your goal should be to spend as little of it in a deficit as possible, which means you need to control yourself and not accumulate body fat too fast so that you have to do too many mini cuts. People are abusing mini, and this should be a consistent thing. So when you look at your training years, like let's say you examine 3 years, the amount of time you spent bulking should greatly, or growing, should greatly overwhelm the amount of time you spent cutting. Completely arbitrary, but 3DMJ created this 4-to-1 rule. Maybe you like 3-to-1, whatever. But I think it's kind of a good idea. So whether it's number of weeks or number of months, like you do 4 months cutting, then maybe the next 16 you try to cut as little as possible. The answer is whatever you're willing to deal with, because what you put on is what you're going to have to take off. And the more you put on, the harder you're going to have to dig, or the longer you're going to have to dig. Sucks. So I will say, though, that getting my personal opinion, if you're truly in that kind of 12% body fat range, you're in a good place to probably do something less than 16 weeks. But what does that say if you get up towards that 20% range? And if you're in that 15-ish% range, doing 16 weeks is already cutting it kind of close. So if you're kind of in that 20-ish% range, you may be setting yourself up to do over a 20-week prep, in my opinion. And the truth is, most people aren't as lean as they think they are. Anything under 10% is pretty damn lean. Most people who think they're like 10 are actually 13, 14. Most people who think they're 8, they're like 10, 12. So if you finish a cut and you're like 12%, you want to keep that fat gain a little slower so that you can go quite a good amount of time without doing a diet. And there are plenty of reasons for this. But once you start creeping much over that 15% and like over 17 times, so once you really start creeping up kind of close to that 20% mark, it is probably a good idea, if you are still many months out from your contest prep, to do a little mini cut, clean it up, and try again with a controlled process.